Hello, everybody. It's the Historical Gamer once again, and we're returning in this episode to Rule the Waves 2, a new strategy game out by Naval Warfare Simulations and the sequel to Rule the Waves 1 that puts you in charge of a sort of a secretary of a navy slash fleet admiral at one of the great powers between 1900 to 1955. The game really focuses on sort of the later half of the game with adding carriers and some other things. But with that being said, we are currently playing as Italy in a Let's Play series of ours that started a couple of episodes ago. I think we're episode 4 now? Maybe it's 5. And it is February of 1902. The game starts in 1900. So we're 2 years into the game. We're not at war with anybody. We are researching and training our forces to get them to be up to sort of the best quality we can. We just rebuilt some light cruisers of ours. And we are currently running a bit of a budget deficit, but that should solve itself in about 6 months when some of our heavy cruisers start coming off the lines. Tensions are moderately high with Austria-Hungary, but not much in the way of anyone else. And that's the situation right now. So I guess I'm trying to remember if I wanted to build a new battleship or not, but I probably need to wait for my finances to get in a little bit better shape. We're currently building 5 heavy cruisers, so that's pretty expensive. We're also building 4 light cruisers to get us up to 15 light cruisers to try and have a little bit more parity in the cruiser game. Our battleships actually outstrip the rest of the world in terms of the number that we have, although Great Britain will pass us very swiftly and very soon as they're building 13 battleships. But I'm not too worried about trying to compete toe-to-toe with the British. All right, so yeah, let's move forward here. New docks are completed, so we've expanded our dock size. Meanwhile, there's an internal upheaval in Morocco. France is apparently sending a force there to restore order, but it's likely to have more far-reaching plans. Issue an ultimatum, having them back down. Push for an international force, no concern. Ultimatum, screw you, France. France backs down, but relations are soured. Interesting. So we actually got France to back down. I don't know if I've ever seen that as a random event before. But hey, jacked up the tensions a bit, but Italy will not be cowed. Meanwhile, you can see here our dock sizes are up to 20,000 tons. We'll probably wait another couple turns before we start building bigger docks. I have no need for more than 20,000 tons at the moment of a ship. Meanwhile, some new designs on a Russian Voin class armored cruiser, 13,000 tons, 22 knots, 4.5 belt armor, 4 10-inch guns. Those are some pretty heavy. That's a battleship. 4 10-inch guns, 14 6-inch guns. Don't call that an armored cruiser. That's a battleship. Anyway. Medium wing turrets, ship breakthrough, enables secondary wing double turrets up to 10 inches on the center line of caliber. Wow. I need more money. I need to build some new battleships now with that new technology. We can build quasi-dreadnoughts. But I don't have any money to do it at the moment. France is... But, I mean, no one else really... Probably need to build some, but it's not an urgency. Meanwhile, we captured a spy from Germany. What do? Give it maximum publicity. That'll give us more budget and tension. Handle it discreetly. That doesn't do anything. Man, we want the tensions. Meanwhile, power rammers, rate of fire increase. You can see tensions are slowly increasing a bit. You can see our budget is a little bit better shape. We gain about $800,000 a month in revenue here. So that actually might be sufficient to get us through to the completion of some of these ships. All right, the Almafi is commissioned, the San Marco is commissioned, and the Pisa is commissioned. Meanwhile, one of our agents in Austria-Hungary has been captured. Deny involvement, make them a national hero. Make them a national hero, of course. And we've also now have the ability to do early coastal submarines. Counterintelligence believes that Great Britain has stolen technology and ship design from us. The affair is leaked to the press. Shouldn't get upset over a little spying. That'll hurt our prestige. Send a diplomatic note in the strongest possible language. Which apparently pisses off Austria, too. I'm not quite sure I understand that. Either that or it's the completion of our new heavy cruisers. Meanwhile, we're getting a lot of information about different ship designs in different navies. This is the Northampton, an armored cruiser for the United States. want a little bit more money in the bank before I lay down another battleship. The renowned battleship class for the British, 4 11-inch guns, 14.4 in terms of tonnage, 8.5 belt armor, 18 knots. And a Mainz class armored cruiser for the Germans, 2 9-inch guns. 6-inch belt armor, that's a good armored belt there for that ship. I want to get back over 10 million before we lay down more battleships. So we're over 12 million now. Face hardening armor development. Okay. All right, so it's time to design a quasi-dreadnought. We don't have dreadnought technology yet, but we have wing turrets of up to 10 inches for secondary guns. So that's exciting. We can build up to 20,000 tons for our battleships. We have $2.5 million of headroom per month. Probably only good for one battleship being built, but we also have $12 million in the bank. So let's go ahead and design a new ship. It's going to be a pre-dreadnought battleship. We'll auto-design it first and see what the game recommends. It's recommending 16,400 tons, speed of 20 knots, 9.5 belt. Wow. 12-inch guns of -1 quality. Part of me wonders, like, what if we built it? Well, the technology that we have is limited to us, right? So I don't think if we built it in the U.S., I don't know if they have the right technology. Yeah, they don't have the technology for the wing turrets. We actually have the largest dockyards of anybody right now, 20,000 tons. Nobody else can build a ship of that size if we choose to. It's too bad our gun quality sucks. Oh, wait. Oh, we don't have 13. I'm dumb. I really was hoping we would research a larger or more efficient 12-inch gun. All right, let's do this. Let's see what it takes to make her make 22 knots. 10 inches of belt, 4 inches of extended, 2.5 of deck, 12 inches on the conning tower and turrets. Secondaries are 6, that's fine. Turret tops 2.5, that matches the deck. I mean, we could build to the maximum dockyard capacity, 20,000 tons. We can put 2 10-inch. Do we have 10-inch quality 0? 8 inches where our quality 0 starts. What's a 10-inch look like? 10-inch guns penetrate up to 4.6 of armor at 5,000 yards, range out to 10,100. Compare that to 4.7 versus 4.6. Really? Wow. 10.1, 10.4. The 8-inch 0 is better than the 10-inch -1? Really? That's nuts. So, I mean, in that case, our secondary should be 8-inchers, I think. 16 of them? That would be nuts. In double turrets? Too many or heavy secondary guns for displacement. Yeah, probably not that many. Ship is slightly overweight. I don't know how you'd balance double turrets. So I think 6 and 6, 3 and 3 on each side. So we'll have 6 8-inch guns on each flank. I'd like to have some tertiary guns too. Let's see if we can get 23-inch tertiary guns to fend off destroyers. Those can be in... Do we do single turrets? .22 knots. That's fast as fuck. Accommodations normal. Range normal. I mean, I guess range short range is fine for our battleships. We don't have anywhere to send them. So, Jeebus. Can we do that? Too many heavy secondaries for its displacement. So we'd have to make it bigger, but we can't make it bigger because that's our max dock size. Go put them in single turrets. I mean, there's no reason we can't put them in single turrets. The single turrets make sense because then you can have 7 single turrets on each flank of the ship at 8 inches. Also, it makes you less vulnerable to enemy knocking them out. Add some torpedo tubes. So this thing is going to just be like the frickin' Death Star over here. 5 torpedo tubes, 12-inch main guns, 14 8-inch secondaries and single turrets, and then 20 3-inch guns and single turrets. This thing's nuts. 95 shells per main gun. I mean, 10 inches of belt armor, that's pretty good armor, I think. It's better than anything else I saw. 22 knots is fast for a pre-dreadnought. She's going to be expensive as fuck. So we'll do 22 3-inch guns. This thing will shred destroyers as they come up on it. Alright, I think I'm happy with this design. We will call it the Butcher class, because it's going to cut up the enemy. Short-ranged, coal-fired, accommodations normal, 10-inch belt, 12-inch primaries, 2 turrets, fore and aft, 14 8-inch guns, 22 3-inch guns. Hell yes. 20,000 tons. We're laying her down. The ship design's going to take 3 months, and it's going to cost $5 million. Yeah, we'll do that. She's going to change the game. One of our major arms manufacturers wants to enter with a technology sharing agreement with a company in Austria-Hungary. No! We're about to go to war with them. I mean, they're the most likely country for us to go to war with. That's nuts. Light cruisers are being commissioned into the Navy. That'll free up some cash for these new battleships. Meanwhile, you can see we got 7 battleships. The British now have more than us. The Germans will soon too. The Americans also. 10 heavy cruisers. Puts us in relatively good company, although we're still behind the French by a considerable number, almost double. The light cruisers we're doing okay in. Design study on the battleship. 2 more heavy cruisers will be done in about 3 months. Alright, go to the build screen. The battleship, the Butcher, 20,000 tons. It's going to cost $2.2 million per turn. We currently have 6 battleships. We can afford 4 of them, or 2 of them, and not even be in the red yet. The third will put us into the red slightly. We're going to build 4 of these pre-dreadnought. We probably won't build any more beyond the 4, but we're going to build 4. They're going to take almost 3 years to complete, but they should still be relatively effective for us when the dreadnought comes around. Because at least the early dreadnoughts, because of their speed of 22 knots, they should be pretty competitive. Also, the 10 inches of armor will really help make these things ultra efficient. So we'll see, but this is great. I'm kind of excited to see how the ship plays when it's done. All right. In addition to that, the Katina class light cruiser, I'd like a few more of them. Is there anything we can do? If we open the design for rebuild, is there anything we can? Is there anything we? Wait, why do they have a -1? We do have more powerful 5-inchers since we laid that down. I forget if there was a reason I didn't really care. 1.9 and 1.3. .1. Yeah, so it is considerably better with the redesign with the newer guns. What about machinery? Will that save us any weight? Not enough. Okay, so let's open it for a rebuild. And really the only thing we're doing is giving them better 5-inch guns. It'll take 3 months at 240. All right, these are the new heavy cruisers too, that were new light cruisers that we just. Really, the estimates estimates were way off. But these new heavy cruisers are being brought in for rebuild. Meanwhile, I think we already upgraded the quality of guns on the Bari class. Yep, they're already using the regular 5-inch guns. All right, so we're going to be way in the red here. It's going to take... We'll wait for these light cruisers to be rebuilt before we commission any more, I think. Probably could design a new destroyer too, right? I think we can go up to 600 tons now. 27 knots. Can we make it 28? Make it 28 knots. Three center line. Insufficient topside space for all of this stuff. Why is that a 6-inch gun? That's dumb. I don't even want a 5-inch gun on there. Cramped accommodation, short range, air insufficient topside space for AA guns and other equipment. Do we have AA guns? No, we don't. Oh, we have secondaries. Why would we have secondaries? We don't need secondaries on this thing. Maybe we add starboard swivel, port swivel. Okay, so it's short ranged. I'd like to not be cramped. Okay, I think I like this design. Makes 28 knots. Can we do 29? No, we can't. But we can do 28 knots. Well, we could do 29. -1, it's slightly overweight. But that doesn't necessarily... I mean, -1 is not the end of the world if it's slightly overweight. It has 4 torpedoes. Can do 3 torpedo broadside. 1 4-inch gun. Makes 29 knots. So we'll go ahead and name this one the Sonic class because it's supposed to be fast. Go ahead and build that. It's going to take 1 month. Cost a little bit of money to research. Meanwhile, this is the USS Arizona. Our armor outstrips her, although she does have a very good secondary armament. Not quite as good as us, though. Better 10-inch guns. Quality 0. Well, damn. If I had known that, then I could redo my battleships with 10-inch secondaries. All right. Let's build 10 of these new destroyers. So we're going to build 10 new destroyers. We're building 3 light cruisers. We're building 2 heavy cruisers and 4 battleships. And we don't have money for any of this. But hey, that's okay. Unrest Levels 3? Why is our Unrest level so high? Are we spending too much money on the Navy? Is that making people uneasy? Huh. Okay, so these new heavy cruisers are going to be a little bit slower than we thought. I think they'll be more like 21-knot heavy cruisers. If we go in here, the Umbria, the first of the... Is this the first of the Umbria class? 21 knots. Still puts her at the same speed as the other destroyers, though. So that's good, at least. Or the other heavy cruisers, that is. All right, so a few more days on the other rebuild stuff. Another Umbria's commissioned into the Navy. It's bringing our negative balance down a little bit. Those new heavy cruisers bring us up to 12 heavy cruisers in the fleet. You can see here these light cruisers will finish reconstruction on a couple of... or actually next turn. There they go. The British government is offering to sell us the rights to 7-inch guns of quality 0. I mean, our ships should have the best technology money can buy, but I don't think I need 7-inch guns. I'm using 8-inch guns. Okay. Should we build some coastal subs too? We can build 20 of these things. Basically, it's $1 million for 10. They're not going to be super efficient, but we'll build 30 of them. All right, so we're building 30 of these. I have no money to do all these things. So we're going to halt construction on 2 of the battleships to get our finances in a little bit better state. Austria-Hungary appears to be considering a naval rearmament program. The government asked for our advice on how to react. Condemn their adventurous policies and strengthen our own navy. That'll double tensions, prestige, and budget. Their ships are no threat to ours. We could always contemplate a disarmament conference. Nope. No disarmament conference for me. We need more money before we consider disarmament. Okay. A major arms firm wants to sell South America a ship. This would be good for our arms industry, but risk leaking sensitive technology. I am totally fine with that. I'm happy with more money. Meanwhile, we just researched a Periscope. Research breakthrough. Periscope. Okay. These destroyers are going to be done in about 4 months. A rebellion in the French possession of Senegal. What do we recommend? Support the rebels. It'll cause trouble for France. Don't get involved. Such unpleasantries can be contagious. We should help France root out the rebels. Yeah, I don't want... There are popular protests in Italy against the high naval expenditures. Why would you do that? My population is increasingly upset. Well, what do they know? They're just civilians. The rebellion in Senegal continues. Man, our monthly balance is killing us here. You're killing me, Smalls. Halt construction. An anti-German rebellion has broken out in the Marshall Islands. 8 destroyers are commissioned into the Navy. During maneuvers, one of our ships has opened fire on a fishing boat from Austria-Hungary, sinking the boat and killing several fishermen. The boat was fishing in restricted areas, and they suffer the consequences of their carelessness. Make it public. No, I'm not taking a prestige hit. Okay. Let's halt this one. Resume this one. I'd like them to commission roughly at the same time. New DDs coming in, rate of fire improvements, etc. Has anybody laid down a dreadnought yet? It's February 1904. I'm not seeing any dreadnoughts yet. No naval aviation yet. We are, wow! Nobody else has anywhere near as many submarines building as us. We're building 30. The next closest is 7 total between 6 building and 1 in service in the U.S. The submarine navy, eh? We'll have 40 destroyers, which also put us in first place. Our light cruisers are a little bit behind, but on par with some, like a little bit ahead of France, equal to Austria-Hungary, a little bit behind Britain and Russia, Germany and the U.S. Our heavy cruisers are kind of considerably behind in terms of numbers. Our battleships, on the other hand, are actually going to be superior to everybody but the British and the Americans once we get these guys completed, if we ever get these guys completed. Yeah, we'll resume those 3. New destroyer commissions the Navy. Research breakthrough ship design 3 centerline turrets. Enables 3 centerline made turrets on ships. I mean, honestly, we kind of need 4, I think, if we're going to really have a dreadnought. Naval intelligence suggests that we could ship some arms to rebels in French possession of Senegal. Yes, that's a good idea. No, we should not let them handle their own troubles. British government wants to sell us a preheater. Okay. I get the preheater, which I don't really know what it does, but it's a thing. Meanwhile, it'll get our balance back into the black. Industrial production soaring as new methods and technologies are introduced. The rebellions in Senegal have defeated the French forces. Senegal is now independent. The Prime Minister floats the idea of trying to improve relations with Austria-Hungary. What should we do? Our national pride demands we take a hard line. Don't compromise. I want the prestige, man. I want the prestige. It's all about the prestige. All right, so if we accelerate, it just cuts off 2 months. That doesn't really do us much good. Some enterprising young officers in naval intelligence have hatched a plan to blow up one of the capital ships of Austria-Hungary at anchor. Such underhanded tactics are not the tradition of our Navy. I do not want to hear any more about such tricks. An excellent idea. These chaps are showing the right spirit. I may have just gotten us into a war. Our unrest level is really high, too. Our agents managed to blow up the Austrian heavy cruiser Kaiserin und König Mara, Teresa, in that's a mouthful. In Pola, the Austrian authorities are suspecting sabotage, but seem clueless about the identity of the perpetrators. Our agent seems to have been caught in the U.S. Make them a national hero. I need myself some prestige. Oh my God! We are basically just at war with Austria-Hungary. Anything, even just building a new ship, could set war off. New French battleship, 13-inch guns, but not a dreadnought. Naval research of 13-inch guns. Italy and Austria-Hungary are now in a state of war. Eek. And the war will open. I don't want to fight a battle yet. Looks like we've got a fleet battle on our hands, folks. Not really what I wanted. Unknown ship spotted, sir. Oh my God. All right, let's AI. I don't even know which one is like the flagship. Which one is it? This is the first division, I guess. The rest. I'm gonna AI control everybody but my task force for the moment. All right, these are our battleships. This is our entire battle fleet. Our entire battle fleet is all here. I've never seen a war kick off like this before. I couldn't take all the victory point penalties for refusing to fight. They're in line of battle as well by the looks of it. Those look like mostly heavy cruisers. The problem is our battleships are slow as fuck. Yeah, let's have this heavy cruiser fall back at max speed. She's going to get a little bit out there on our own. Okay, we could actually swing our battle fleet up here. These heavy cruisers need to fall back. I forgot about them over there. Okay, so those heavy cruisers probably took a, oh boy, fair bit of damage. The problem is their heavy cruisers are going to be able to escape ours. The only real chance we have is trying to pin them up against the sea, but they could fall back to their port of Kataro. But I think they'll probably not let themselves get divided from their main battle fleet, which is off here to the south. But they may turn back and try and engage us. I guess we'll see. I'd like to just pick off these heavy cruisers here in the north, leave the rest of their battle fleet down here, because that's where we're going to have the real advantage, is against their heavy cruisers. The entire Italian battle fleet against the Austro-Hungarian army's heavy cruisers, and if we knock the heavy cruisers out, the war is more or less won. I don't think they have much of a chance against our ships if they don't have any cruisers. So I'm trying to get in a situation where I can have my broadsides fire into the enemy heavy cruisers. You can see most of our ships are under AI control at the moment. We're kind of leading the van here with our battle fleet, but most of our ships are under AI command. We're going to try and go after this Adira class. I got this one. Where did my other heavy cruisers go? Did I switch them back to AI control? I think they switched back. I was going to say I could send our 4 heavy cruisers off at this guy over here. But the rest of the main Austrian battle fleet's over here to the east. Umbria, how is she doing? Basically suffered no damage. Can we take control over her? We can. So we're going to send her at max speed to close at the Adira, while the rest of our fleet attempts to isolate their heavy cruiser force. Problem is, as she gets further out there, she's going to be out of sight of our flagship, at which point she automatically reverts to AI control. But this Adira class really kind of got itself out ahead of the rest of the fleet and kind of exposed. She probably will get away. They're much faster. Yeah, the Umbria is out of sight. The problem is, at this era, warships are so horribly inaccurate. Their guns are basically just good luck. You're trying to hit them. You're praying you hit them. You hope maybe you get lucky and hit them. All right, the Adira is turning away. She is taking some hits, though. We can see the little red flash on the little icon there indicates she is taking some damage. Now, whether that's penetrating her and doing any real damage, or whether it's just, superficial damage on the deck, that's hard to know. Meanwhile, he's kind of got me caught between two sides, but he's not really engaging me at this stage. I don't see a lot of shell splashes or whatever around the actual fleet. Meanwhile, his cruisers are all kind of heading back this way. We're strung out a little bit. He could try and break our line, I guess. Be interesting to see if he pulls his ships into port. Does look like that guy just went into port. But we'll turn our battleships north because the rest of his heavy cruisers have are not heading back into port. Okay, we are using a lot of ammunition as well. We can chase them up the northern coast, or the coastline. Let me pause here real quick. I need to try and take control over this Italian group. What are they? Cruiser Division 14. Take AI control, squadron max speed. Get the hell out of there and away from the enemy fleet over there. Okay, we'll speed them up along the coast. Meanwhile, our battle fleet is hopefully doing some damage against these enemy heavy cruisers. Okay, they're running alongside the enemy here. We're definitely doing some damage to these guys, but I think most of them are getting away into their port. I don't think we've actually sunk anything yet. Yeah, scenario's over. Italian marginal victory. So we didn't lose anything sunk, neither did they. They lost one heavy cruiser, had heavy damage, one had medium damage. So we did more damage to them, but we didn't actually sink anything. So that's kind of lame. We'll exit out of here. We got 778 victory points to their 170, and that's how the war opens. So damage on both sides, but nothing too severe. Meanwhile, our submarines are building and will be done in 2 days. The good news is these are coastal submarines, and the Mediterranean is coastal waters. So we should be able to hopefully cripple the Austrian economy quickly with our submarines. Unrest level in Italia, or in Italy, has dropped to 4 as a result of war. I guess there's a better justification for spending a lot of money on the Navy. These new battleships that we're building, still a ways away. We don't even know if they're going to be ready in time for the war. It is 1904. Is anybody building any dreadnoughts? I don't see anything building as far as a dreadnought's concerned. But yeah, so we are now at war. We've been, this episode's been going about 40 minutes, so we'll go ahead and we'll end this episode here, and we'll pick up next time with the Italian-Austrian War and see how things play out following our victory in the first battle of the war, but inconclusive victory at that. At least our Italia-class battleships seem to have given a good account of themselves. They don't seem to be suffering too much. Their armor seems to be pretty strong. 11 inches. Jeez, I forgot it was that thick. But yeah, overall, good result for the first battle, I think, but we'll see how things play out next time. Until next time, however, guys, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend if you're in the United States, and until next time,